All right, so the next thing I want everyone to do is pick a universe. So you can pick, not forever, just for right now. You can pick, Microsoft universe, Google universe, whatever your preferred universe is, because you are going to be doing this next part with me as you go. And what I'd like you to do is either, if you're in Microsoft 365, you can bring up Copilot in there. If you are in Google, go ahead and bring up Gemini, and then we're actually going to make us a couple of bots real time. All right, so I'm going to give you just 1 minute to do that. And we are going to be using this context and context stocking in order to design our bot. I have pre-designed bots, and I also am going to be designing a bot live with you. If bot seems a little, if it seems intimidating, it should not be. It is essentially just telling it what to do, right? You're giving instructions, and that's really the core component of it. All right, so I'm assuming everyone has up, you're either at gemini.google.com, and I will share that. Gemini.google.com, or I'm going to be using here for this next example, I'm going to be using Copilot. All right, so I am going to pop right here into Copilot. And right now, there are all different sorts of things you can do once you're on Create. I'm on Create right here. I have create an image, sign a poster. You can create whatever it is you want over here, right? I'm going to ask it to create a document. And there are all different sorts of, obviously, templates that you can use for that. If you haven't already explored the notebook, there is some functionality here that is very similar to Notebook LM. And so we're going to check that out in a little bit. But we're going to start over here at, and we're going to start over here in the chat. And what we're going to do first is I'm going to hop back over to my context file. So if you don't have a context file to work with, what do? You can just create a context file. But for our purposes, what I'm going to do is I will pop into the, I'm going to pop into the chat an example context file that you can use. Now, if you want to be working with your own context file, absolutely, they're not hard to create. But here you should have access to, everybody should have access as a viewer to that, and you should be able to copy part of that, just as today's example, right? All right. So I'm assuming everyone has one of these two options up, and that you are either looking at the example that I have, or you are creating a context file of your own. You may already have a context file of your own for what you want to be doing. All right, so go ahead and go in, and if you want to copy that context file, you can copy that. And we're going to take it over here to Copilot. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that to actually create the instructions for our bot. So the first thing we're going to do is say, you don't have to use the exact same prompt. I do. You can just experiment with it. Using this context file, create for me instructions for a bot that I can use to do this repeatedly. All right, and then you paste your context file. And we're going to see what it gives us, because it's going to be a little different depending on what you're using for it. It's giving you bot instructions, right? So always introduce us with our mission, emphasize the implementation, brand and tone. It's breaking it down a little bit closer, audience messaging. It's just really adapting the context file that we gave it to come up with how we're going to tell our bot to act. And it's not as fun as having like a little actual robot that you could program to do chores around your house, but actually much more effective in terms of saving you time. And it also offers you template prompts, right, that you can use again and again. You can even have it act like, again, marketing copy, like we had talked about, email outreach. Many of you probably already use email templates consistently. Would you like me to also create a ready-to-use template library? Oh, and should I create the bot's logic flow? Both, please. You actually don't have to say please. The only reason I say that is, if Skynet comes, they'll know I'm one of the good humans. And so this is the bot logic flow, step by step. And then we're going to take this and we're going to go and create our own bot. So if anyone wants to put in, the chat what bot they're using, or what type of universe they're in. Are you in Copilot right now? Are you in Perplexity? Are you in Google? What universe are you picking up now? Jamie, I don't know. I don't think I can see the chat. So if folks are responding, will you just let me know? Oh, wait a minute. I found it. Brenda is in Gemini. Is anyone else in Gemini? I actually live in a Gemini world. So I'm trying out, I challenged myself to try Copilot just for fun. All right, so here we are. This is the bot workflow. And here we go. Wait a minute. So this is, okay, so these are the bot instructions. This is what we're telling the bot we want. And then we're doing the logic workflow. So the first thing we're doing is, here's the stuff we want it to do, right? And now we're telling it, here's the order we want it to do it in, sort of like how we want it to think through what we're asking it to do. And so the first thing is, here we're telling it to input the parameters that we've already given it, to retrieve the contract, to generate the content, structure the content, insert the trigger words, here's the output. And then it's creating a template library here. I would have to prompt it again. Yes, exactly. Well, it depends on what you ask it to do, right? Like you could have structured, you yourself could have written a different prompt than what I put in with the context document. Like you could have asked for both at the same time. When I did it with Gemini, and I'll show you how to do it with Gemini. When I did it with Gemini, it was one step. And here, the logic flow has been separated out from the overall instructions on how to create it. So now I'm going to go and try to create it. So where did my bots go? Okay, I got to find my bots again. I lost my bot. Hold that thought. Okay, here we go. I am back at my bot. Oh, and I do have a short video to include with this in terms of that you don't, like if you don't actually have already a subscription for this, they always have like a free month. So if you want to go in and play with it, I actually have a little video that I can send out for how you play with it. And what you're going to do is you're going to log into ChatGPT. Here's where, if you don't already have a subscription, you used to be able to just sort of like create bots. Now you have to have the paid subscription to create bots unless you have a student account. So their little name for these are just GPTs. That's all you're creating. And I had actually created this earlier, and you'll notice that it has grant writing consultant specializing in federal and philanthropic grant proposals. And you can also go in and edit your GPT at any time. So there's create and there's configure. So I'll walk you through this. We'll create one at the same time, but you'll notice that this has a totally different set of instructions. So I didn't use the context file in this previous example. I, again, created these instructions using AI for AI. And this is all about being an expert grant writer. That is a fantastic use case, by the way, for these. Also, folks who have done things like, NSF, so the National Science Foundation, actually had to change the number of applications they are letting people put in because people are finding it so much easier to write these massive grant applications, right? And so if we're going to create ours from scratch, what we're going to do is these are my two GPTs, and we are going to. Oh, you can also, just note to self, you can also explore other GPTs. You do not have to have the paid version to use GPTs. You do in order to create your own. So there's a lot of really fun ones in here. Spend your time, definitely explore it. Ton of productivity pieces. But from this GPT space, click create on the upper right-hand side. So it will help you build it. So think of this as a wizard. Like if you do your taxes via Wizard, or you know how Wizard can help you install software on your computer, something like that, it will help you build it, or you can configure it manually. We're going to configure ours manually. So we're going to call this a consulting or a nonprofit strategic consultant. Creating, writing proposals for new and continuing business. This is not, just so you all know, this part this is not prepared. We are doing this real time on the fly. And so this is, oh, wait a minute, this is still the context file, which is not what I want to do. I want to go back and I want to give it the instructions that I had created using here. Sorry, y'all, I have too many tabs up at the same time. Okay, I'm going to stop presenting so I can find the right tab. I'll start presenting again. There was a joke the other day. Someone said, like, I have too many tabs open in my brain. I feel like that some days. Okay, so this is what I had created previously using Gemini. So these are the bot system instructions that I created using Gemini. And so this I am going to just copy, and I am going to paste it right here for the instructions, okay? And you can also add conversation starters. Those are things you want it to suggest to you, right? So at the top, if it says like, create me an image to, you know, go along with this, or create a PowerPoint version of a proposal, you could put those in. So we'll just select a couple, create point slide by slide version of proposal. Points. Another one could be create a one-sheeter proposal, whatever, right? And then we can add knowledge to it. So in this case, I did this previously. It's just like how you can use Notebook LM or something else. You can upload a bunch of files for it to refer to. So in this case, some examples of the type of files you might want to upload would be like a client brief, information that you have from the client on what they're trying to actually accomplish, background on specific proposals that they have funded in the past, similar projects from across the field that you want them to be involved in. Any of those types of things would be appropriate to put in as upload files. So think of that as like your mini knowledge base or your mini large language model. Now, it's not only taking information from that. That's important to note, but it is using that information. All right, so we are going to, you can also put a picture here, to just help you visually clarify that. So you want anyone with a link, the GPT store or only me. I'm going to say anyone with a link. I will share this link with all of you in the chat right now. So if you want to use it, you probably don't want to use this specific one, but if you want to use it for our purposes on this call, you absolutely can. All right, and so now we're going to go back and we are going to take a look at what it looks like now that it's done. So now you see your nonprofit strategic consultant who's helping you out. And I have, these are those, they were called conversation starters. So I am going to instead though, create a consulting proposal for, let's see what it does if we just mention a big NGO, the Red Cross, on creating their strategic plan and conducting change management training. All right, so it's going to go through those directions that I previously created, and it's how crazy is this, y'all? I know I can never get used to how awesome this technology is. And again, it won't get you 100% there, but man, if it saves you hours in getting 90% there, amazing. So this is not hugely fleshed out as an executive summary, but it is a pretty good sort of skeleton for you to get started with. And this is just, I love it when it goes real time. And you can ask it for more specifics on any component of this. It says insert pricing, which I love. Client ready proposal, what it does. This is what is fantastic, is constantly saying, here's another suggestion for you. Here's another suggestion for you. And it might not be the actual perfect thing that you need, but again, if it gets you 90% of the way there, it's amazing. So it even suggests adapt this into a slide deck. Please adapt it into a slide deck. And again, everybody probably knows this, but that's the copy. You can give them feedback on it as well. And it is getting better and better at sort of creating these slides. What you can do in a lot of the slide technologies now, PowerPoint, Google Slides, whatever, even Gamma, which I created this from, you can put in an outline and it'll automatically generate the slides, right? So when I created the Gamma presentation for today, I didn't go slide by slide. I also didn't create an outline somewhere else and then copy and paste it in slide by slide. I had an outline, I put it into Gamma and it spit out slides for me. Were they perfect? No, you have to edit. And that's actually the thing we're gonna get into next. This is a 15-point slide deck. And what I'm gonna do, and again, this is on the fly, I did not prepare this part. I'm gonna see, can you adapt that PowerPoint and add more content and make it in the style of a McKinsey deck? See what it does. The other thing you can do actually in the Google universe as well is you can create videos from much deeper content. At the beginning of this evolution, you used to be able to put in like 2 sentences and it would spit out a video. Now you can put in a lot more content and it will get a lot more detailed. All right, so these are how it has sort of reconfigured it. This is such McKinsey speak too. How it can reconfigured it in a different style, right? All right, so that is just a fun way you can use a bot.